Has it ever happened to you? You're talking to a girl, the conversation is going really well. It's going really well, you're gelling up with the girl, you're vibing with the girl, but you don't know where to go from there. And then the conversation turns bland.
I like your bangs.
Oh, thanks. I like them too.
You're saying what's coming onto your mind, but you don't know how to flirt the right way. You don't know how to sexually escalate. You don't know how to make her interested. And then you lose the attraction. Now, if this has happened to you, watch this video till the very end because the flirting tips I share in this video work every single fucking time. Now, when I go out there to the field and I see men talking to women trying to pick them up, most of the conversations are looking extremely bland. They're looking extremely vanilla. The girl is just waiting for them to end. The girl is just thinking, hey, when is this conversation gonna end and when can I go back to my friends? Because the conversation is not that engaging. 99% of the men, when they're interacting with women, they're playing it too safe. Alright, they're playing it too safe. They don't like to take risks and definitely they don't know shit about flirting. And that's completely alright because when I started game, for the longest period of time, I didn't know how to flirt with a woman. I knew how to approach, I knew how to open, I knew how to reach the social hook point, but I never could reach the sexual hook point because my flirting game was extremely weak. So in this video, I'm going to be teaching you 5 different flirting techniques that are going to work every single time. Now the first flirting technique is pretty simple and it's one of the oldest concepts in the pickup community, which is called push and pull. Now guys, understand, push and pull means something like hot and cold, where you're acting really cold to the girl one moment and the second moment you're acting really hot to her, where you're trying to push her away from you and then you're trying to pull her towards you, and I'm going to explain how it happens. Apart from that, it's like pressure on when you're putting pressure on the girl and pressure off when you're releasing that pressure. Now guys, personally I view my whole game as a push and pull, as pressure on, pressure off. What it means is basically when I'm opening the girl, I'm putting some pressure on her. So what would be the right thing to do at that time is releasing some of the pressure. How do I do that? Is when I'm opening her, I give her a submissive hand. Alright, my hand is submissive, so my handshake is a little submissive, but I'm putting some pressure when I'm opening her. So it's always move 2 steps forward and 1 step back so that the girl can feel a little comfortable and she doesn't feel that you're invading her personal space. Now in terms of flirting, what push and pull would mean is giving her some validation spike and then giving her an emotional spike. Now validation spike is where you're complimenting the girl, where you're making her feel good about herself. The emotional spike is when you're giving her a spike, something that not 99% of the guys would say, something obnoxious, something that strips off her validation. For example, if I'm talking to a girl in the field, I'd be like, hey, God, you have beautiful eyes. You remind me of my mother, so cute. What's your name? Now, what it means is basically when you're talking to the girl, you're not just giving her too much validation, because understand, if you're just pulling her towards you, if you're giving her so much validation, what will happen is she will be on a pedestal. She'll think that, okay, this guy is probably needy, he gives me too much of value, and I don't know, maybe it's not regular for him to talk to hot girls. So in that sense, you have to understand, if you're pulling a girl towards you, which means if you're giving her validation, if you're releasing her of pressure, you also have to put on some pressure. You have to push her away a little bit so that you can play that seduction game. Now, a lot of guys, when it comes to push and pull, they think about negging the girl and they think about old concepts of the pickup community, which is, say some bad shit about her, so, strip her off her validation. But guys, understand that is the old times, right? That is the old times when social media was not there. These days, even the most basic girl is getting hit up on social media, on Instagram too much. She's getting all the validation from guys online. So she wouldn't care if you're trying to strip her off of some of her validation, or she wouldn't care if you're trying to neg her. She will just end up rejecting you. So don't try to, neg the girls. Like, I would neg the girls, but in a very subtle way. They wouldn't even feel that it's a neg. Alright, so the more subtle, the better it is. And guys, understand, push and pull, you have to be a little careful with this, because if you push her away too much, she's gonna leave. If you pull her towards you too much, she's gonna feel that she's on a pedestal. So you have to maintain the right balance. It's like the yin and yang. Which brings me to an important announcement. If you want to learn more about push and pull, if you want to learn more about verbal game, all you need to do is click the link in the comment section below in the pinned comment, and you'll be redirected towards an ebook that I wrote, and it's a completely free ebook for limited time only. So go there, download that ebook, and you will learn how to go beyond small talk. Now the book's name is Beyond Small Talks, How to Turn Around with Your Conversations. So if you want to learn about verbal game, that's a good start. Moving on, a lot of guys fail to create the VFrame when they're talking to the girl, and this happened with me as well. When I was talking to the girl, I didn't know about the VFrame, and creating the VFrame is actually pretty powerful because it puts you and the girl in a hypothetical situation where you guys are together, which means that she's going to imagine being with you. And if she imagines being with you, she's going to think about it more and more. The more she thinks about you, the better it is. So how do you create a VFrame? So whenever I'm talking to the girl, maybe I'm just looking at her and I'm like, hey, listen, if you're thrown away in an island, we'll probably end up killing each other. And what would you do? Right? Something that creates a hypothetical situation where she's forced to imagine being with me. Or some completely fake scenario. For example, if I'm talking to other people, I would just tell the girl, hey, why don't you pretend to be my girlfriend? And I'm talking to the other people and I'm just being like, hey, yeah, this is my girlfriend or something like that. And then we have this inside joke going on. And what it does, it makes the girl think about you a lot. Oh, who's this guy? How does he have the balls to just say that? And then she obsessively thinks about you, and that's actually a pretty good thing when you're doing pickup. The next point is actually a pretty big one. And guys, my whole game was earlier based on my subconscious communication. Now, the subconscious communication is your non-verbal communication, which is your deep eye contact, your voice tonality, taking pauses, the way you're carrying your body and all of that. So a lot of guys, what I see out there, they're flirting with the girl, they're creating a VFrame sometimes. Sometimes they're talking to the girl, they have that flirtatious banter all sorted. But when it comes to subconscious communication, the subconscious communication is extremely weak. Now, subconscious communication is also your facial expressions and how you play with your facial expressions. And what I see out there is a lot of guys have not worked on the deep laser eye contact. They're too scared to hold that eye contact. They're flirting with the girl, but it doesn't feel that direct. The girl cannot sense that intent because the guy is not that direct with his non-verbal communication. So if you're flirting with a girl, it can be indirect as well. It can be some teasing as well. But if your subconscious communication is on point, then it will be direct and the girls will end up taking you a lot seriously. So work on your subconscious communication and see how the girl is responding to you. Now, if the girl is responding to you in a positive manner, if she's complying to you, what I mean by complying is if you're going towards her, if you're closing down the proximity and she's not going behind, she's not resisting, and she's also coming towards you, that's a good sign, all right? That means that she's complying to you. Now, if the girl is complying to you, the next step is add physicality to it. Now, a lot of men really fear being physical with a girl. What if she rejects me? What if she slaps me? See, a girl will never slap you. A girl can reject you if you don't gauge her reactions pretty well, if you're not calibrated enough to understand that she's there yet. If you've not built that comfort and trust, she can reject your physicality. But if you're not sure about it, never do it, guys. So it's really important to be physical with the girls, because if you're not physical with them, what happens is a lot of times you'll have that amazing flirtatious banter, you'll have amazing conversations with a girl, you think, hey, the date is going really well. And I see this as a pattern with most of my clients who are not able to escalate on the first or the second date, that the girl just texts them, hey, listen, I don't think it's going anywhere, because at the end of the day, the girl also wants to be physical. And most of the guys think that, hey, if I touch her hand or if I just hold her hand, she's gonna get angry, and usually that never happens. But guys, make sure you understand the indicators of interest and the disindicators of interest, and we have made a video on that which teaches you about different body language movements that girls have. So I'll make sure to add a link just on top so you can check out that video. And apart from that, guys, when you're trying to escalate, when you're trying to hold her hand, be sure that it will work. Assume that it will work, because if you're half-hearted towards it, if you're half-hearted holding her hand, you're nervous, you're jittery, you have jittery, fidgety movements, the girl is going to reject you, because she's not going to be comfortable with you doing that. She's going to feel like, why is he holding my hand if he's not comfortable doing that? Now, holding hands is probably the starting of physicality, but it goes even higher. And the last point is one of the most important points, I feel, because I see a lot of men going out there, talking to the girl, approaching the girl, being shit nervous, and when they're approaching the girl, they're just going in her frame, which means they're invading her personal space. They're not giving her a chance to invest. They're not giving her a chance to talk. They just want to talk and talk because they think that's the right way of persisting. But that's not how you can be a good flirt. If you want to be a good flirt, listen to what she has to say, all right? Listen to what she has to say. Look deep in her eyes and tell her, hey, listen, your beautiful eyes. Guys, you need to understand, good flirting is always fun. It doesn't seem forced. Go out, try these things, and let me know how it goes.